Okay, before I get deep into this video, I want to let everybody know that these moon videos, all of them are going to have a survey at the end of them. Pretty much near the end of them, it's going to pop up an icon that you can click on and take the survey. It's very brief. It's not mandatory, however, you're not obligated to do it. However, the survey is going to be on human behavior. We're adding surveys and things of that nature, research into the channel. You can participate in that if you like. I'd appreciate it if you do. All right, now. Okay, Moon and Aries. Moon and Aries people are confident, courageous, ambitious, self-starters. It's all about them. And what happens with them is they also wear their emotions on their sleeves. So when they feel something about something, they speak on it rather quickly too. And it's short-lived, however, it's impulsive. And a lot of the times this comes from a set of rules that they believe do not apply to them. And this again is where these leadership qualities come into play, right? This is how you go about life. You start your creations here. You're a self-oriented person. Like everything revolves around self. When you talk to people, you speak to them as if, you know, this is what you would do because you are you. Okay, so Moon and Aries in the first house, you're right at home here because first house deals with Aries, deals with Mars. Your singularity is going to stand out right here. It's going to peak, all right? So you're going to be expressing your leadership qualities. Not only that, this is the game face. This is the face that you show to the world. So you're going to be in your element here and you're going to feel comfortable here. You're going to start projects here. You're going to be confident. And if anyone tries to get in your way, you're going to square off with them in some type of way. Moon and Aries in the second house, you're not going to like this, all right? You're not going to like this. You just came off of your high and it's going to slow you down because you have the energy of Taurus there and it wants a plan. So here you are the leader and you're creating these projects and you want to dart off and go compete and do your thing, right? And the second house says, okay, I see you player, right? Now I need to know how this thing is going to work out because now you're talking about my money, you see, because second house deals with your personal finances, Moon and Aries, and the quicker you realize this, the better off you're going to be, because what can happen here is the same way Moon and Aries people respond to interaction impulsively is the same way that they respond with their wallets. Moon and Aries inside of the third house, you can be conversing with people and shaking hands and, you know, being a negotiator of some type. However, you know, Moon and Aries people, they deal with people based upon how they see things or how their perception is. So it's not always peaceful when they're going about talking to people. It's more like, you know, rubbing shoulders to getting to know people and finding out if you can be a leader amongst these people. Your communication while the moon is in the third house may also be standoffish. It may be a competitive thing. Like you can get into arguments. A moon and Aries in the fourth house. Now we're dealing with family and stuff like that, right? Plus, you know, the moon is relative to the fourth house. It rules Cancer, is ruler of the fourth house. So this is more congenial than you might think it is because Aries is a singular entity. You may think that, you know, Moon and Aries people are going to have conflict within the family, and that can occur. However, it's really not like that. Moon and Aries people actually value their family very much. Very difficult to pry them away from their family. And, you know, because they feel like they're the leader of the family no matter what. What you may notice while you're at home is that the siblings may pay more attention to the other family members in your household. It also could be like one of those days at work or where you're out on an adventure, you're traveling somewhere where you may want to be home. So when you leave the fourth house, it's like, okay, I made sure the family is straight and everybody's good at home. So now it's my time to party, right? This is where Moon and Aries people come alive because they get to show out. They get to utilize that self-expression that's found in the fifth house. They also go looking for their romantic conquest if they have one, their romantic partner if they have one. They go, you know, looking to have fun, leisure time, movies, whatever it is that floats their boat, mountain climbing, you name it, you know, they're there for that. They can also, the expenditures I was talking about with Moon and Aries people, this is where this can occur. Also, speculative matters and gambling deals with the fifth house. So, you know, you may find Moon and Aries people in a casino. Say, I didn't tell you, I told you ahead of time. Moon and Aries in the sixth house. This is fun to watch. I tell you why. This might sound kind of cynical or sinister. However, Moon and Aries people, they're not always going to get along with people. You know what I mean? They're great workers. They're great skills people. Like they acquire skills very quickly and they apply them quickly. However, like if they see somebody is slacking or lacking around and not pulling their weight, like that can bother them. They'll find a friend within the work environment that they can talk to like that, and they'll like vent to them and like curse the coworker out that they don't like or something like that. Like if they're in a profession and they're constantly doing it because they're like go, 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 They get happy. They can use that energy that they always have and until it exhausts. So this is a great place for Moon and Aries people, especially if they're in leadership positions. This is good for entrepreneurs who have Moon and Aries. So when the Moon gets inside of the 6th house, they're like easy-go-lucky. Now, Moon and Aries people inside of the 7th house, this is kind of different. I would say Moon and Aries in the 6th house is better for them when it comes to work, and this advancement when it comes to the 7th house, because 7th house deals with relationships, and they could be business and personal. So when you're doing business with a Moon and Aries person, it's not always going to be rosy. And they are the type of people who might not even necessarily want to do business on that level, as far as negotiating contracts and stuff like that. They are either going to take a position in the job and going to excel at, or they're going to be on some entrepreneur stuff. Now, just because they're looking for their partner and they're seeking to be with their significant other does not mean that's going to be rosy either. It's not the same energy from the 5th house. Okay? So there can be some quarrels here. There can be some arguments here, especially if there's sensitive topics that they're touching on, because the Moon and Aries person is going to think about themselves in that situation. Which brings us to the 8th house, right? If things went well in the 7th house with your significant other, sex is going to be great because you're down coming into the 8th house, right? However, if not, let's say you had an argument or whatever the case may be, this is going to be the time when you take the time to look in depth to see what it is that you can either change about yourself to get better in relationship-wise, or some personal decisions that you need to make to better yourself. You're also going to look in you could have a debate about finances or something that you guys wanted to do, go on a trip or whatever the case may be, and you had to plan better, and maybe the arrow pointed on you to oh, well, we could have been there if you would have slowed down on the spending or something. These are the type of things that Moon and Aries people can hear when they're in relationships with people, right? So they may look at it okay, well, now they're in the 8th house, they're looking at their debt. Moon and Aries inside of the 9th house. 9th house deals with long distance travel. So now you're going to be thinking about, after you come out of the psychoanalysis research thing and everything, you're going to be thinking about maybe taking a trip, possibly. This is not all of the time, of course, right? Everyone doesn't have the luxury or time to always dart off and go on long trips. However, Moon and Aries people do. They get to use their mind. They get to think more instead of just action, right? Also, 9th house deals with a divorce, all right? So whatever happened in that 7th house and they thought about it in the 8th house, they may start applying it now when the Moon gets in the 9th house, okay? At least the thoughts will cross the mind. Okay, so Moon and Aries inside of the 10th house, this is recognition. What are you going to be noted for? What are people going to think about when they see you? This is going to be pertaining to your partner. This is going to be pertaining to your business relationships, your boss, usually authority figures, right? This is also going to pertain to your mother and father. 10th house also pertains to mother or father. It depends on how you utilize it as the Moon gets inside of the 10th house and start thinking about something new. Maybe a side job, maybe be an independent contractor or do it something, or utilizing their hobby to see if it can a business can come into play out of that or something. They're going to be thinking about something extra to give them more prestige. Okay, Moon and Aries people inside of the 11th house. This is when Moon and Aries people begin to mature, because it's going to be based upon other people. It's going to be based upon a network. So like I said before, with the Moon being in the 10th house, they're going to start thinking about career matters more, or things that, may be apart from what they do for a living, as a job. So what they're going to find out when the Moon comes into the 11th house is you're going to start noticing people popping up, either reaching out to you, or you're going to feel the urge to reach out to other people. And it's not going to be like before in the 3rd house energy. It's going to be more mature, it's going to be advanced, and it's going to be based upon purpose. So even if they're in the work environment when the Moon is in the 11th house, you can see how that cooperation that they're looking for that may not always be there or be found when the Moon is in the 6th house, it'll be there for them in the 11th house. And they may look at the coworker okay, well, you did your thing today, you get a pass today, I appreciate you today. With Moon in the 11th house for Moon and Aries people as well, this does not always have to pertain to business relationships or networks to make things happen for them. Sometimes it's really purely based upon friendship. They want to get around their good friends. Moon inside of the 12th house with Moon and Aries people, this is the voice of reckoning. This is the voice of wisdom that speaks to you, the intuition that says, look what you've done. Now what are you going to do, right? So this can go either way as well. You can think about self-renewal and think about the things that you want to do or the things that you need to change with yourself. This can also be type spiritual, so it may put you like, and you may not be at ease when the moon comes into this house because it's like kind of sits you down and makes you think, it makes you ponder more than you usually do, and it's going to nudge you about something. Now, what intuition comes from here, because it's deep intuition in the 12th house, it can be telling you something that you either have to do to advance or you have to stop in order to advance. And you can become rageful at this. You can use that Mars energy, that competitive energy, and that anger may rise, and you may rebel, Moon and Aries people, when this happens, because you may say, no, I'm not changing that, or I'm not going to keep on doing this because, you know, of repetition's sake or whatever the case may be. I want to change. I want to do it my way or something like that. And this is where you have that by yourself talk, which is good for Moon and Aries people because they're reflecting on themselves. However, it can go either way. So this is an important house for the Moon and Aries people because the moon goes right back into the first house. So how it's like the horses lined up at the horse race, right? You're getting ready to come back out. So what is your attitude when that moon gets back into the first house? Are you going to self-renew? You know, are you going to think about those secrets that you hold about yourself? And are you going to let them become, you know, fester into something that can become rageful? Or are you going to process them better so that when you come out that gate this time around, you have more equipment to help you advance? Think about it.
That arrangement you may seem like I'm interrogating you with the way you live and what you're faithful to. Just assume you're faithful and you're sitting on cake too. I know the dude is thankful. Tell a bartender get your favorite drink. Oh, Hennessy. Without it, wouldn't know that she was into me. Cab to the lab to conjure up the chemistry. So deep, might have reached another entity. Such a mystery. Hennessy. Open up, pour you a cup, let me in the sea. The way to transform all of this energy. And wait till this woman's heart is through her kidneys. Though she was kidding me, so comfortable with that sex appeal. And you play your cards so well that they yell, what's the deal? It's still a woman who can wear a dress and heels. And the way you feel. Makes all the men want to pay some bills. You always know what to say to heal, and you also know what the day reveals beforehand. There's an ancient skill in the 8th house, such a place to build. And although I'm playful, I know how to talk to an angel, because those are the things I relate to. Tell a bartender get your favorite drink. Oh, Hennessy. Without it, wouldn't know that she was into me. Cab to the lab to conjure up the chemistry. So deep, might have reached another entity. Such a mystery. Hennessy. Open up, pour you a cup, let me in the sea. The way to transform all of this energy. And wait till this woman's heart is through her kidneys. Though she was kidding me. I'm cool, those, the bottle is closed. If you don't trust me, come at the store. No matter how this goes, I will not suppose you're supposed to come out your clothes, lingerie, see-through. But I see people the same, so I look beyond your eatable frame with the sight of an eagle. Strange to me, so I'm gonna compete you and thank everything in your cerebral bank to bring about change and lead you. Drink gets paid for illegal. No, I don't drink, don't smoke, I'll pass. So the back of your hand, so for